And we've got all of these different things that we can do, and that basically, again, this is a, I don't like doing numbers again. I like this to be different, but you could do like a 1 to 6. But I like the picture because it's just kind of fun. It's a little different. And you can set up a Google form with a picture, and they can just click the box and tell you how they feel that day coming into practice. So we usually do this, you know, maybe in the morning we would want them to do this, or at least before they start practice, so that if a kid's like having a bad day, you go to the little Google form and it'll spit out that information, and you go, oh, that kid's really having a bad day, I probably should go talk to him. Heart rate variability. A lot of your kids that are distance kids, they wear, right, the heart rate watches, but maybe all your kids should get that, including your sprinters. Brooks Johnson, very famous coach, he said, if I have an athlete that has a 10% increase in heart rate 2 days in a row, I'd sit them for a practice. Because they're fatigued, there's something going on, and we risk injury, and if you're a professional runner, you can't get hurt because there's only so many opportunities to make money. This S-Health, very cheap handheld program, and what's really cool about it is you don't even need to have the watch. If your kid has a cell phone, Android or iPhone, you open it up, and you put your finger across the little light, and the light reads your heart rate. It tells you what it is. It's super cheap, you don't have to go buy a $400 bunch. And the kids can plug that information on a little Google form, and boom, there you go. Or they can just show it to you, you know, because it'll be on their phone. Yes, sir?
Walmart also has them for about $25 in
Yeah.
the pharmacy section. And they're just a watch, but I mean, it's handy to have when you're working out.
Yeah, and you can just look at it, and they can plug it in later, and write it down on the
They have
clipboard.
little things you can adjust your high and low rate, and it'll beep and.
Yeah, and with the technology that we have, it's getting easier and easier to do this stuff. Now this is a new one. I know it sounds when you see psycho, you know, people get scared or whatever, but basically what it is it's how fried is your nervous system that day. So what it is you can look these up, you look up PPT test app. There's a new one coming out, which will be all combined under a program called IRIS, which is being beta tested right now. But basically what it is it's reaction time. So you sit there for like a minute, and you have to react to like a little picture coming up and touch it. And if you mess up too many times, it's like you failed the test, or it has, hey, you took this long to react, your system's fried. And that's another thing that you can do with the kids. Now, usually what I do with that, if I'm going to have a kid do that, we would do that at lunchtime. And again, you can get those apps online. But what's really cool is all of this stuff, pretty much, is going to be put into this program. So they're beta testing it right now. Within the year, you should be able to have this program that you can download on your phone, that your kids, they promised, it only takes the kids 60 seconds to do all of this, and then they develop every day a watch list for you. These athletes are screwed up. You need to talk to them. There's something going on. So, but right now, if we don't have that, this is very easy. This is very easy. A lot of kids already have this. But having it is one thing. You knowing about it is where the empowerment comes from. Does that make sense? Because you can monitor that better than they can sometimes, because they got, their minds all over the place. All right. We do not want to have our athletes go to training places and have our doctors, hey, go to a sports doctor. Oh, we went to the pediatrician. What did the pediatrician say? You're done for the season. Well, all you did, kiddo, was stub your toe. Yeah, they think my toe's broken. Did they do an x-ray? No, they just looked at it. Oh, they think I've got a stress fracture. Did they did a bone scan? No. Well, then they don't know you have a stress fracture. They did an MRI. Did they do an MRI? No. Well, they don't know necessarily what you got going on with the muscle. So what we want to do is we don't want to have those crash moments. So what we do, what I like, is providing kids an opportunity to empower themselves. So this book has a hilarious title, but it's really cool. The guy, Kelly Starlett, he's a guru type of guy, There's people who really like him. There's some people who are like, man, that guy is too much. But the reality is the creation of a system that he has invented for people to care for their bodies is unsurpassed. And so what he's done is, tennis balls, lacrosse balls, foam rollers. He has created a series of different activities that your kids can do at home to take care of shin splints, to take care of tendonitis in the knees, to take care of sore feet, to take care of muscles. The book is well illustrated with great pictures. It's applicable to track and field. He actually went to the Altus Training Center for the summer and worked with some of these guys. Very smart guru type of guy, but it's awesome. And so when a kid comes to me and says, Banta, I've got this. What should I do? I open up the book, get your cell phone out, take a picture of all of those drills. Do all of them. And then all of a sudden made a girl with huge, major tendonitis on her knee, went away. Doing just all these activities at home. Because we caught it right away and your kids are talking to you right away. They know you have options, so they fix the problems quickly. They know you can fix them, so they come to you. Because they're like, this is no big deal. I'm not going to hide it and worry. I'm going to go and get it done. And I don't have to go to the doctor. It'll get taken care of. Now, obviously, if the kid's running around and they've got bruising all up and down the back of their hamstring, they'll be like, you're fine, kid. Here's a lacrosse ball, roll it out. That kid's obviously got a torn hamstring. They need to get some care. But we can take care of this stuff. Recovery station. So taking that idea and bringing it to something that you can use as a coach. I have a little milk box, you know, you get the plastic ones. And I got a bunch of the sticks and lacrosse balls and tennis balls and foam rollers. So in between intervals, I set it up where they finish the intervals at. And so while they're resting, like if they have a huge recovery, like 10 or 15 minutes, they can go over and foam roll, rub out on the lacrosse ball, rub their feet out, stretch their legs out, use the stick. And they do it. And they know it's there. And they get mad when it's not there. Because they like the opportunity to have it. So even though none of us are expert masseuses, these kids can kind of take care of themselves because they know exactly where that pain is at and how hard they want to push on it. Then, other cool things, if you have a really cool trainer and he's just sitting up in the room somewhere hanging out, invite that guy to come out to practice and help out your kids. And especially if they're a chiropractic type of skill guy or have some of that, there's a lot of stuff they can do better. Bring them out and help them out. And so that way a kid can say, hey, this is feeling a little tight, what do you think? Well, I don't have a physical therapy degree, but the trainer is right there. Instead of the trainer being somebody scary that you don't want to go to, it's somebody you can see throughout the workout, and the trainer needs to know that hey, sometimes these kids are coming to you for just relief, you know, or hey, they want to get through this interval, they've got something tight. If the trainer's really good, they already know about all this stuff, and they can do some of that stuff for your kids, which is really cool. And then we have triage workouts. So, hey, a kid can't sprint. There's something wrong. Well, can they do drills? Can they do dribble runs over mini hurdles? Can they do shuffle runs? Can they jog, stride, walk? So you should always have adjusted workouts. If they can't do stuff on the track, then you need to have a workout to do in the pool, if you have a pool, on a bike, if you have a bike. If you don't have a stationary bike, invite them to bring the bike to practice and have them do intervals on the track. It's your track. It's not the AD's track. You know, it's your track. Might not have your name on it yet. But that's what we do, so the kids are out there, they feel that they're a part of the team still, and you can make sure that they're working hard, and you just tell all the kids, watch out for lane 8, because you know, Ching Ting Wong is going to be on her bike, blowing people's doors off. All right, so just look both ways before you cross the track. But it works, and kids come back quicker. That's what we did actually with Claire Wong. I don't know if you guys know who she is, but she was one of our state qualifiers. She didn't run an actual complete workout of practice until about halfway through the season, and she still qualified in the 5K for the state championships. That's a distance runner. If you do some of those things for your sprinter, that improves. Here's another thing you could do. If an athlete has a sprained ankle and they can't run, or they don't feel comfortable spinning the bike with both pedals, then have them put the foot up on the stationary bike where it's comfortable, and then have them spin half the body. There's a thing called the crossover effect, that even though you might not be able to use this side of the body, this arm, or this leg, this arm, or this arm and this leg working, they've had tons of studies that show it massively decreases recovery time. People are so afraid, oh my God, I'm going to be like this guy who's got one big arm muscled up and the other one. Yeah, that's going to happen anyway. But the crossover, the hormonal effect in the nervous system still picks up some of that for the other side. So it shortens recovery, crossover effect. Really cool thing. I know I don't have a ton of time here, guys. Just got 2 more. Okay, we're talking about large groups. Don't want to steal Coach Candle's fire too much. We're talking about block starts. Oh my God, I got 50 kids. How am I supposed to teach all these middle schoolers how to come out of the blocks? Well, first of all, you got to figure out how you want to divide them up so it's quick. So one of the things Carl Valley talked about at the MTCCA conference a couple years ago, divide up 4 lanes for boys, 4 lanes for girls. 2 lanes for left-legged sprinters that power off their left leg, 2 lanes for their right leg. And then, if you have all girls or all boys, then do them by height. Short, tall, short, tall. So that way they're not doing what? The whole practice. Yeah, they're not rearranging and taking further. You're like, oh, you know, you get through 3 block starts and it's an hour and a half later. You keep them in these lines and it gets the stuff done way quicker. And the adjustments are way faster. And we've used this and it's great. Another thing we do, every drill we do, we come out of a 3-point stance. So if we're coming in, we're going to do a high knee, we start at 3-point. Acceleration, start at 3-point. Which is really funny to see our 2-milers trying to figure out how they're supposed to do it. But you just never know. Like that kid might end up being a 400-meter runner at some point for you on a 4x4 and they're going to have to lead off. So it would be better for them to say, hey, it's just the same thing, just put the other hand down, put your feet in the blocks. Oh, okay. Waterfall. If you're doing stuff that isn't about time or you're not looking at your watch, put the watch down. When you're doing acceleration stuff, times don't matter all the time. So put your watch down, look at it. And if you're going to do, again, 3-point stances, we'll line up all the kids on the goal line on the football field. And then I'll tell the kid, when that kid gets to the 10 yards, you go. And so, all right, ready, set, go, boom, kid goes off, and then you just watch him. So that way, instead of seeing 20 kids and trying to say, all right, where's Julie at? I can't see her. There's a big kid in her way. Now Julie gets seen, and all the other athletes get seen too, and now you've just cataloged all that information with the waterfall. So you don't have, and then it's real quick. It's not like you're wasting a lot of time, and time doesn't matter. It's the mechanics and how they look, so you want to see it. But you also want to get it done quickly. So in the weight room, everybody gets into the weight room. Oh, weight room track, so annoying. What are we supposed to do? We got all these kids. Well, get all the kids set up and, you know, pick a lift that they're going to do first. Probably the lifts you should do first are the explosive ones. So Olympic lifts need to be first. If you're going to do jerks, that's kind of an upper body, obviously includes lower body, but that might be an upper body Olympic you would start with on an upper body day. Obviously lower body day, you can do high pull type stuff, you can do power cleans, you can do snatches, but that should be your first lift. Typically the muscle heads, they want to, including me, want to go into bench first. And so you're always the guy waiting at the gym, there's like the one bench press and all these dudes are sitting around waiting for the guy to get his set done. Well, instead of that, we like to go with the explosive because that's what you do, right? That's what you do when you come out of the blocks. There's that moment of triple extension, power, so we want to simulate that in the weight room. But to make sure all the kids are doing things right with good technique, and you want them all to be doing it, and you want to get it done quickly, again, you can waterfall. In this rack, okay, go. You watch them do a couple reps, they look good, okay, you, okay, you, okay, you. And then everybody's kind of getting it done around the same time. You're not wasting a ton of time. You can see them all, and then you all know that they're doing it. Then they de-rack the weights, and then you start the rotation again, and you waterfall it again. Joe Porter, coach at SLU, came up with this idea. Joe Porter has like an army of skinny kids that run around Forest Park. And he hated the first part of practice because he'd have 25 kids that come, hey coach, my ankle hurts, my shin hurts, I don't know that I can practice. And it would just infuriate him, and then he'd spend the next half an hour PO'd at practice because all these kids are hurt. And I'm easily just as volatile as he is, and it's in this way, what they do is they go on a Google form, they say, hey, this is bothering me, or hey, I'm going to come late, I've got to leave early, do I have permission to skip practice? Now, they're not to do that and then just disappear. They're still to come talk to me, but I know ahead of time, which allows me then to process the conversation so that I don't react like, what? You know, be like, I understand, and try to put my nice face on, you know, fake it till we make it, right? And I can process that and we can make some decisions. Hey, if I got a whole bunch of kids that are orchestra kids, I can have like 2 starts of practice. I'm going to miss half my track team. Well, that kind of stinks. Well, I'm not going to have the team huddle if 50% of my team's not going to be there. That's not going to help me. So then you can adjust those plans too, and you know ahead of time. So what's really cool is we've shared that with all our coaching staff, and you can literally see it populate throughout the day. You know, and then you can say, okay, Billy's not going to be here today. Well, we need to talk to Billy because this is like the 5th time he's missed in like 4 weeks. So that's really neat. Challenge workout. You always got the kids in here workout and they're like, oh, I can't believe we're doing 2 450s, 4 2. Oh, so annoying. All right, challenge. Go to the bucket, grab a different workout. Or the kids can say, challenge, go to the bucket. Now, the thing is there's a chance that workout could be like an active recovery day, or it could be like the most hellacious, evil, devious workout of all time. But go ahead, check it out. Let's see. Coach's notebook. Pocket notebook. We all have our notebooks here. One of the cool things I saw at Altus is that they had a little pocket notebook, and they saw something in practice, they might say something to the athlete, or they write it down, and then when the athlete checks out with them, they say, hey, I want to talk to you for a second. I noticed this in practice today. Let's think about how we can get that done better. John Wooden did the same thing. John Wooden would have note cards with the kids' names on it. Now, he only had 15 guys, and they were all amazing, right? Even goofy Bill Walton. But, he would write down the stuff, and at the end of practice, this is what you need to work on. This is what we're going to try to work on for tomorrow. Or he wouldn't give them the card and say, coaches and I are going to come back, we got something on you, we're going to get together and talk about how we're going to fix this. But sometimes when you see it, and practice goes on, you forget about it, right? So this way, it's a structure that you've got set up, which guarantees that you're going to have that conversation. I always have the kids shake my hand before they leave practice or give me a fist bump, especially because I have a little kid at home. They don't want what my kids get from daycare. So I'll give them a fist bump, but then I say, hey, come over here and let's talk for about 2 or 3 minutes. And I have my assistant coach check out the rest of the kids from practice. All right, last thing. Team huddles. Everybody wants to give the big win one for the Gipper speech, but that gets old. We have the coaches joke that I'm too, and you guys can tell I'm too chatty as it is, but I've kind of controlled that. I'm like, all right, on Tuesday, we're going to talk about everything for the week. We're going to have that whole conversation. And in cross country this year, we would actually meet in a classroom, and we would talk about a key sports psychology concept, and we would explain why we're doing it, the advantage of doing it, and how the kids could do it, and we would create little worksheets and things like that they would do, thinking about goals. It's, well, I want to run 10-5 in the 100. Okay, well, what's the process to get that done? And then you actually have their big sister or little brother, we give them a big sister or little brother, they sign the contract, and the athlete signs the contract, the event coach does, and so everybody's on board with the process goals. Or we do a thing called mantras. So we give them 7 things they think in their head. I am prepared, I am ready, I am talented, my coaches believe in me, my teammates believe in me, I believe in me, let's go. And we practice that stuff with the kids. You don't just say, do this, and that they have no idea how to do it. Some kids are really uncomfortable with tapping into their emotions and feelings. This really helped. Cool story. Now, granted, some of the stuff we do with track, but this is a story for cross country. We had a kid, she ran terrible at sectionals. Terrible. We had an hour delay. It was 85 degrees that day. For some of you, it was districts for you guys, right? Horrible weather. The girl runs bad in the heat, which, by the way, athletogen, there's a gene that certain people don't run as well in hot conditions. Guarantee she has it. Okay? She ran terrible. Immediately after the meet was over, she got home, she wrote me an email, because we qualified by the skin of our teeth over my buddy over here, who I didn't think we didn't think they had a great day. We did not have a great day. I thought we were beaten. Somehow we made it. But she wrote me a letter, said, Banta, I'm so happy I qualified for the state championship as a freshman. I love this team. I love my coaches. I know I didn't have my best race this day, but I've already figured out what I'm going to do. Don't worry, I'm going to smash it next Saturday. And sure enough, she did. Her name's Brooke Hilton. She ran very well and ran within 2 seconds of her PR on a very difficult state course. Quotes of the day, grit workouts. There's all sorts of stuff you can do. Grit workout, great one I heard from Coach Catelli at Parkway West. Kids aren't allowed to talk for practice. Oh. Right? Imagine that with girls, right? And if they do talk, push-ups. But they know ahead of time. You tell them ahead of time, we got a grit workout tomorrow. Oh. But part of that process of dealing with that helps build mental toughness. And Steve Magnus talked about all those great ideas at the clinic, and that was one that I really liked. So that's it. Game Stand Tall, they have a thing where the athletes team up and they read each other's goals for the week. you know, they stand up in a group, everybody has a team huddle, and they say, Bobby's gonna run for 100 yards today, and then his teammate picks his card up and he says, Steve's gonna get 10 tackles for loss. And then they throw it like in a fire or something like that, you know, and they do it each week. That's pretty cool, you know. So there's all sorts of stuff you can do in a team huddle, and these are some of the ideas that I found in researching the Sprinter's Compendium. So thank you guys, that's all I've got. Anybody got any questions? I know I'm way over time here. What do we got next? Coming up. I'll shut up. If you want to talk to me afterwards, we can, because Coach Gary's going to present.
Just one quick question.
Yeah.
If you have athletes that either they don't train year round, or they maybe do one sport in the winter or something like that, or they're just a track only kid but they hate cross country,
Yeah.
do you change that philosophy, whether it's you know, the big, the little, or?
Oh, absolutely. I had a young lady that if I would have to do it all over again, I would have completely changed her training. And as coaches, we have to grow. I've done that with a lot of other athletes where this kid's got this ability or they have this background, like basketball girls coming out of basketball season, they're still in great shape. So you can handle that. A kid who hasn't trained at all, one of the things we'll do is we'll have 3 workouts. We have a workout for returning athletes that are stars, that are in shape, returning athletes that have done nothing, and rookies. So you can divide it up like that, 3 different groups. Anything else?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Sorry it took so long.